Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the July 15, 2018 special edition of The Breast There Is, The Breast There Was, and The Breast There Ever Will Be Wrestling Podcast. As always, I am your host, Mikey B, WWE, and today is a special broadcast because I am doing my prediction show for this evening's WWE pay-per-view Extreme Rules. This Extreme Rules is yet another co-branded pay-per-view, which the WWE has been doing since WrestleMania this year. Each pay-per-view has been featuring performers from both Raw and SmackDown. So we're going to have matches and championship matches from both shows. This event tonight features 10 matches on the main card. As always, I'm not concerning myself with the kickoff matches. So let's get right to it. The first match listed on the WWE.com website is Finn Balor taking on Constable Baron Corbin. These two have had their issues in recent weeks, exchanging victories. Because Baron Corbin is, the way that they're formulating his character now is still certainly a performer and wrestler, but also having him be on the management side of things in cahoots with Stephanie McMahon. It doesn't make a lot of sense, in my view, that they would have Finn Balor, who's somebody held in high regard and constantly a main event status performer, to lose to Constable Baron Corbin. So I'm going to choose Finn Balor to be victorious in this match. I have a feeling this is not a feud that will continue on for very long. I'd like personally to see Finn Balor resuming, get back more into the title pictures and be up for some championships himself, as he's very much deserving of that. So for that opening match, I'm choosing Finn Balor to be victorious. The second match on the card is for the Raw Tag Team Championship, which is featuring Woken Matt Hardy and his tag team partner Bray Wyatt as the champions, taking on the B Team, comprised of Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. The B Team has certainly been on a run ever since they changed their name of their tag team, and they've as a tag team unit they've yet to lose. So it's tempting to want to choose them to win the belts this evening. However, I just have the feeling that this is a feud that will probably go on for a little while yet. And I don't believe that I'd be surprised if Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt were to lose their belts at this juncture. SummerSlam, of course, is coming up next month, and there will be a lot of these feuds from tonight that will carry over into SummerSlam, possibly being modified by adding additional performers, making them triple threat contests or fatal four-ways, for example. But I believe this is one that will continue certainly until next month. So I'm sticking with Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt to retain their championship belts for that one. The third match is for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Carmella is the defending champion, and she's taking on Asuka in a rematch from last month's pay-per-view. That match, of course, ended in controversy when Carmella's sidekick James Ellsworth returned and distracted Asuka long enough so that Carmella could secure the victory. In this match, James Ellsworth is going to be suspended above the ring in a shark cage. So, at first glance, you might think that this will prevent him from having any interfering in any way. But as we've seen in other matches where there has been a performer or manager or whomever locked in a shark cage above the ring, oftentimes they find a way to get out and assist their their teammate or the person that they're trying to help out. So I'm saying that Carmella will retain her belt tonight, probably with the assistance of James Ellsworth somehow slipping out of the cage and being able to assist Carmella. This is one feud, particularly in my mind, that will last until SummerSlam, with the likelihood that Asuka will finally win her championship there at SummerSlam. For someone as celebrated as Asuka, to me it makes sense that they are planning to have her win her first championship at one of the major pay-per-views like SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, or Survivor Series. So in my view, this feud will continue on until next month, certainly. And so I believe Carmella, with James Ellsworth's assistance, will likely retain. I guess it's not a guarantee Ellsworth will interfere, in my opinion, but I believe he will. But regardless, Carmella is my pick to win and retain the championship belt. The next match is the Raw Women's Championship match, which is an Extreme Rules style match. This match here is between Alexa Bliss, who is the defending champion, taking on Nia Jax. Nia Jax, of course, she was the champion, defeating Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania, and she only recently lost the belt because Alexa Bliss had cashed in her Money in the Bank contract, which she had just won the same evening earlier at the last pay-per-view, and was able to cash in and defeat Nia Jax. So this is a rematch, at least a WrestleMania rematch between these two. Ronda Rousey, who was in the championship match against Nia Jax last month, will be seated ringside, especially that is noteworthy because she is suspended for 30 days after she attacked Alexa Bliss, Kurt Angle, and a host of other referees almost a month ago. So this one I see as Alexa Bliss retaining the championship, probably with the help of Mickie James. Ronda Rousey, I think, will guarantee to get involved some way or other after the match. I don't know if she'll actually attack Bliss, but she'll certainly try. And of course, with SummerSlam looming next month, you can bet that Ronda Rousey will be back in the title picture for that event. So that, and when I think about this particular feud, I could see it becoming a triple threat involving Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax, and Alexa Bliss, but it could also just be Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss having a one-on-one. But regardless, Alexa Bliss, in my view, will definitely retain the Raw Women's Championship tonight, probably with some assistance from Mickie James. Moving on to the next match, it is for the United States Championship. And champion Jeff Hardy will be taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. I have some of my few predictions in this new year that I have got wrong have all been picking Shinsuke Nakamura, notably when he was facing AJ Styles in their feud, which lasted for a number of months. I constantly thought that Nakamura, and in my mind it made a lot of sense considering he is now very much a bad guy heel character. It's time to give the guy the belt, and fortunately, since they did not wind up doing that with AJ Styles in that particular WWE Championship feud, and I was kind of annoyed because it had made all the sense in the world to have him defeat AJ Styles in a dirty, villainous way, but since they opted not to do that, clearly they want Shinsuke Nakamura to stay relevant, and they're having him compete for the second tier belt with the United States Championship. In my mind, it's now long overdue that Shinsuke Nakamura wins, finally, a championship in the WWE, at least on the main roster. So I gotta think he's going to defeat Jeff Hardy tonight, and continue his bad guy heel ways, at least with a belt, and have him compete with a lot of guys for that particular championship before I believe he will ascend back into the main event WWE Championship picture. So I'm picking Shinsuke Nakamura. Again, I hope, since I've chosen him a number of times already this year and lost by choosing him, I hope this time around my prediction will hold up. So Shinsuke Nakamura, I believe, will win the United States Championship belt tonight. The next match on the card is a 30-minute WWE Iron Man match for the Intercontinental Championship. This is between Dolph Ziggler, the champion, taking on Seth Rollins. In recent, since WrestleMania, anyone who's been watching knows that Dolph Ziggler has been accompanied by his old pal Drew McIntyre, a beast of a guy, and Drew McIntyre defeated Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw this past week to secure, or at least which allowed enabling him to be at ringside during this contest with Dolph Ziggler. To me, that's all the, whether or not even, to be honest, if he was forbidden from ringside or not, I felt that Drew McIntyre would somehow either make his presence known. If he wasn't legally able to be at the ringside as per the rules, I felt that he might show up in some sort of a mask or something pretending that it's not him or something foolish like that. But the fact that he's allowed to be ringside gives Dolph Ziggler a clear advantage over Seth Rollins, and I have difficulty believing Seth Rollins would win the belt, considering the obstacle of these two men he's sort of facing. So Dolph Ziggler, in my view, will be retaining the Intercontinental Championship tonight in a 30-minute Iron Man match. The next contest is definitely one of the most highly anticipated matches of the night. It's the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, featuring the champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, taking on the reunited tag team of Team Hell No, which of course features Daniel Bryan and Kane, who are former tag team partners, had a lot of success together. I did myself a little outside research. I think it's not a secret, certainly, that the person playing Kane's character, his real name is Glenn Jacobs. He's been involved in politics for a better part of the last few years, and he recently, earlier this year, won a primary to run for the mayor of Knox County in Tennessee, I believe. And that particular mayoral election will be taking place next month in August. Had I not read that vital piece of information, I would have expected that WWE would have given the crowd what they want and see a victory for Team Hell No. I still think it's possible, and I still think it could happen. I don't actually know the date of this mayoral election, but if they do want to see Team Hell No winning the championship belts once more, my feeling is it would be possibly at SummerSlam or one of the following pay-per-views, that they may actually win it again. But I don't think they will win tonight, because it would appear that Kane will not be around for the better part of the next month, certainly in the WWE storyline. He's going to be having his own hands full with his own mayoral election there in Tennessee. So that piece of information, I must say, changed my belief about the result of this match. But I also must say that I don't think this feud is concluded in any way. We can see on recent programming that besides these two tag teams, we're seeing the new team of Sanity and also the New Day getting involved in the tag team championship title picture. So there's a few tag teams now vying for the belt on SmackDown. So I feel that that this is one of those matches that could carry over onto SummerSlam next month, possibly making it a fatal four-way. That's just the feeling I'm getting. But regardless, I think the Bludgeon Brothers will retain tonight. Possibly there could be interference with some of these other tag teams as well, but I just got to say I believe Bludgeon Brothers will retain the belts and possibly set up a further rematch later on. So Bludgeon Brothers are my pick to retain the belts tonight. The next match on the card is Braun Strowman taking on Kevin Owens in a steel cage match. This one's a bit of a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. Braun Strowman has proved to be somewhat unbeatable in recent months, and it just really wouldn't make much sense to have him lose to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is a great heel character. He gets lots of dirty victories sometimes, but I don't think that will be happening against Braun Strowman. He's just too big and powerful and dominant. So Braun Strowman is my pick on this one. The next match is between Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. These two guys are definitely being both hyped quite a bit by the WWE creative team. Bobby Lashley, of course, returned after 10 years away. He returned just after WrestleMania this year, and it's quite apparent that they're giving him a real push now into top-tier main event status caliber. So I think that I could see both of these guys still being in the main event picture whenever Brock Lesnar will return. I guess I presume it will be for SummerSlam next month, because he, in his very nice contract that he has, one of the few dates that you can always expect Brock Lesnar to be around is SummerSlam. So I'm sure he will be defending his Universal Championship there. The big question, of course, is who it will be against. I have a feeling that this will have a controversial finish, because it doesn't make any sense to me that either guy would get beaten cleanly by the other guy. Again, the company's trying to make both of these individuals look very strong, very tough. You're not seeing them lose many individual matches lately on a clean basis. They're always, if they are, it's very controversial, or there's interference going on and what have you. So I'm thinking this is going to be like a double count out, a disqualification, but ultimately I'm going to rule in a no contest for this one, that no one will actually earn the victory, because they're really promoting this as, two of the top guys going up against each other, and I think this no contest will perfectly segue into maybe a triple threat with Brock Lesnar next month. So I'm going with no contest, but I believe it's not, for sure it won't be a clean victory for either guy. If I'm wrong, I think it'll be because it'll be a double count out or a disqualification on one of their behalf, something like that. But my official prediction is a no contest. So there you have it. That's probably the most difficult thing to predict in the WWE, is when you, as a fan, you're trying to predict if it's going to be one of these outcomes. So if I'm right, kudos to me, because it's not easy to predict something like that. But I'm going with a no contest between those two. And the final match, the final and 10th match of the evening, is the WWE Championship match, featuring champion AJ Styles taking on Rusev, who I'm sure will be accompanied by Aiden English. As much as Rusev is very popular with the fan base lately and in recent months, I don't believe, and I don't see AJ Styles losing his championship prior to SummerSlam next month. He's also been definitely one of the best performers in the company over the last year or two, and they've had him retain the belt for a while for a reason, because they really believe in him, and it's going to take someone really prominent to take that belt away from AJ Styles, as far as I'm concerned. And this feud may continue. It may carry on over to SummerSlam, possibly involving some other individuals, but I just have difficulty seeing AJ Styles losing his championship belt tonight at Extreme Rules. If it happens, I think it would be more likely to happen next month at SummerSlam. So in this one, I am choosing AJ Styles to be victorious and to retain his WWE Championship belt. Okay, folks, that about does it. Not too many overly exciting matches this evening, but hoping it's going to be an interesting card. Again, I'm more intrigued about the development, what's going to happen for SummerSlam next month. But regardless, we might be surprised. There might be some great matches on the card tonight. So hopefully I'll keep up my prediction winning streak, and we'll see what goes on. So thanks very much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel below if you liked what you heard, and certainly feel free to leave any questions or comments below. Thanks very much for listening, and see you next time.